Breaking, latest, live. Rex Bear Leak Project. There is a long list right now of states and different countries that are having mysterious drone flights. And I think I found a couple missing links, and we're going to talk about it. It seems like people want to stick with one answer to everything. Like there's a one stop shop. All of these drone incursions and UAP observations and highly technological drones flying over nuclear sites and like Langley for 17 days. And it's just one thing. No, it's not. There's a multitude of possibilities and scenarios that we're going to talk about here today. And we're going to get into the latest headlines. So really appreciate you joining me this edition. We have a lot to talk about, dozens of articles to share with you, new reports, new locations. Hill Air Force Base just got swarmed by mysterious drones, and they had to temporarily shut down the airspace. But don't worry, there's nothing to be, they don't know where they're coming from. They don't know where they're going. They got to shut down the airspace, but there's no signs of alarm. Wait a second. Something's not adding up here. So mic check. Let me know the audio is going okay, please, if you would. Really appreciate you joining me. I know your time is very valuable, so I'll do my best to share all this with you as quick as possible. And I also just wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, ORION Metal Exchange. Now, America, listen up. Are you tired of watching the government gamble with your hard-earned retirement savings? I know many people that are. Inflation is out of control. The national debt keeps climbing, and foreign powers like BRICS and illegal immigration are pushing the US dollar weaker and costs of everyday goods higher. And here's the kicker. During Trump's first term, gold prices skyrocketed, doubling in value. That's right, gold doubled. What if it happens again? Are your retirement savings ready to handle what's coming? And this is why you need ORION Metal Exchange. They are America's highest rated precious metals IRA by Retirement Living, and they give you more metal for your money. Imagine converting your IRA or 401k into gold and silver, real physical wealth that you can count on no matter what. Do not wait until it's too late. Take control of your future today. Call ORION Metal Exchange. You can call ORION Metal Exchange now at 1-888-460-4090. Click the link specific in the video description box and get your free investor's guide. It's packed with information you need to protect your retirement savings. You've worked way too hard to leave your future to chance. Call 1-888-460-4090 and do it now. ORION Metal Exchange is here to help you secure your wealth and stand strong as a proud conservative American. Okay, buckle up, Buttercup. Let's go, because we've got a lot to talk about. We have at least 10 states now and 3 different nations: Germany, the United Kingdom, and America. We've got Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Utah, California, Washington, North Carolina. Did I say Nevada yet, or Connecticut? New York. And these drones are ranging in size from like about the size of an average drone to 20-foot drones. I've heard everything from, now you've got theories that billionaires are going out and buying these like Jetson cars and then flying them over the bases and flying them over nuclear silos. I'm not buying that. There's a theory out there about a missing nuke from Russia and some potentially medical equipment that's missing that has radioactive materials. So some people are saying that these are actually sniffer drones flying over the military sites, searching for nuclear, biological, or chemical substances. But let's just take a look here at the latest headlines. And we're also going to look at the Space Force, because the Space Force has several different operations and exercises to counter these measures. We're going to look at that. And do you remember the other day when I was just joking about, like I just started thinking about Elon for some reason, and the drones and the technology. And I was like, wow, that's really, I was just, it's interesting sometimes how things go through my mind. But I just found out Elon's brother owns a drone company. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. That's kind of cool. But let's go to New Jersey first here. And I hope you're all having a beautiful day today. It's great to see so many awesome people in the chat. Numerous sightings have been reported, particularly near critical infrastructure such as Salem Nuclear Power Plant, Hope Creek Generating Station, the state's largest utility company. PSE&G has requested the Federal Aviation Administration to restrict air traffic over these sites due to security concerns. That's New York Post. Now, my question is, since these, isn't there already like a no-fly zone over military sites? Isn't there already a no-fly zone over nuclear sites? And so, and is it working? Like, are the no-fly zones working? I don't know. Maryland. Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan reported observing dozens of large drones over his residence in Davidsonville, approximately 25 miles from Washington, D.C. However, some experts suggest it was swamp gas, and the sightings may have been misidentified. Oh, man. The governor was looking at swamp gas. It just showed up, man. It's what it's doing is you got to understand trigonometry, right? Because we did the trigonometry on it, and the calculations suggest it's swamp gas. Maryland, okay. Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Reports have emerged of drone sightings causing concern among residents and officials. The exact nature and origin of these drones remains under investigation. And you can read these from Wikipedia. And then we've got Delaware and Florida. Less frequent. There have been related sightings noted in these states, contributing to the broader pattern of unexplained drone activity in sensitive areas. Once again, Wikipedia links. New York Post. New Jersey's largest utility firm begs feds to shut down airspace over nuclear plant as mystery drones spotted. How good is that working out? White House security official dismisses New Jersey drone sightings. Here's what he claims they really are. We did the trigonometry. And it's not. Anyway, Senator Richard Blumenthal says mysterious drones spotted recently should be shot down if necessary. New York Post. Well, we also have, hot off the press, Hill Air Force Base in Utah. I don't know if you've ever been by Hill Air Force Base in Utah, but that's a very sensitive location. Like, I wouldn't go Area 51 as far as like security level measures. I don't think it's as intense as Area 51, where you got the camo guys that follow you around in the desert. Even when you're miles away, they'll observe everywhere you go. And then there's like weird wires that you'll trip over in the desert. And you're like, how did that get there? I'm not joking. The first time I went to Rachel, Nevada, outside Area 51 for a TV shoot, we met up with this European dude that lives out there. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He had like a Yukon, and he took us to this one area, which was not at Area 51, but really freaking close. And I've got a Nikon P1000, so I can zoom in on the camo guys, and they're zooming in on me. And like, even though they're way out there, and I get out of the Yukon, and I trip over a freaking wire in the middle of the desert. And we're like, what is this wire doing in the middle of the desert? Like, well, let's see where it goes. They've got wires and sensors in the middle of the desert out there, outside of Area 51. So it's a pretty sensitive site. And these drone activities have shut down Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, or the airspace temporarily over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, as well as Hill Air Force Base. I mean, these are two crown jewels of the Air Force here. And let's see what it has to say. Unmanned drones have been observed near Hill Air Force Base in Utah. Despite these sightings, base operations have not been impacted and the airspace remains open. Well, not according to, we need to go back to that because, anyway, all right. Let's go check it out right now. No drones. Small unmanned aerial systems awareness on base. Unidentified drone swarms have recently been observed over several U.S. military bases. Drones are increasingly popular and blah, 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 blah. The use of personal drones on base poses a significant hazard to aircraft. For those interested in flying their drones outside the base, the Federal Aviation Administration provides extensive resources to help you fly legally and safely. Okay, great. Yeah, where's the info on the Hill Air Force Base? Hill Air Force Base confirms reports of drones over Davis County airspace. Multiple drone sightings reported near Hill Air Force Base amid nationwide drone sightings. Let's click on this real quick and see what Drone XL has to say. Hill Air Force Base officials have confirmed recent unmanned aerial system sightings in the vicinity of the installation, adding a growing pattern of drone activity. Yes. Okay, thousands of reportings. Okay, so I take back, a moment ago I said that they had to shut down the airspace over Hill Air Force Base. I was wrong on that. I apologize. According to this article, the Air Force Base remains unaffected. So that's good. Thank you for putting up with me there. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, however, this is a different story. In Ohio, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base temporarily closed its airspace for approximately 4 hours due to the presence of unidentified drones, referred to as small unmanned aerial systems. Yes, base personnel monitored the situation, and no impacts to residents, facilities, or assets were reported. The base is collaborating with local authorities to ensure ongoing safety and security, and that's Daytona Daily News. Also, New York Post, unidentified drones forced critical U.S. Air Force Base to close airspace for hours. Then I found this out about Elon Musk's brother. Pretty interesting. Kimball Musk, the younger brother of Elon Musk, owns a drone company named Nova Sky Stories. In 2022, he acquired Intel's Drone Light Shows division, including over 9,000 light drones to establish this venture. You can read about that, Drone DJ. Nova Sky Stories specializes in creating large-scale drone light shows, collaborating with artists and producers to deliver aerial art expertise and experiences worldwide. Their drones have been featured in prominent events, including the Olympic Games, Super Bowl halftime shows, and that's Nova Sky Stories. Kimball Musk's inspiration for founding Nova Sky Stories stemmed from witnessing a drone light show at an unofficial Burning Man event in 2021, which he described as a profound and emotional experience. Drone XL. Beyond Nova Sky Stories, Kimball Musk is an entrepreneur and philanthropist with ventures in the culinary and agricultural sectors. He co-founded the Kitchen Restaurant Group, promoting farm-to-table dining, that's pretty cool, and establishing Big Green, a nonprofit organization that creates learning gardens and schools across the United States. Pretty cool. Tesla Investor Relations. So, who you gonna call, folks? Who you gonna call? When there's something strange in the neighborhood, who you gonna call? Elon's brother. Wow, I'm just so interesting. All right, so who would have thought the U.S. Space Force, in collaboration with other military branches, has been actively involved in exercises and initiatives to address drone and counter-drone operations. Notable activities include Ghost Muskers. What's up, BP? How you doing, Jesse? Good to see you, man. How the heck are you? We've got Falcon Peak 2025 experiment conducted in late October of this year at Fort Carson, Colorado. This exercise was a joint effort between U.S. Northern Command and the Federal Aviation Administration. It focused on demonstrating new counter-drone technologies to mitigate risks posed by small unmanned aerial systems in the homeland. The exercise emphasized non-kinetic soft kill methods, such as radio frequency and GPS signal jamming, due to legal constraints, legal constraints on kinetic engagements over U.S. soil. Okay, so let's talk for a minute. There's so many theories about what these drones are. First of all, if you put something in the news, it's going to create a stir, especially nationally, locally, nationally, internationally, in the news, in the media, alternative news, social media. You know, it's everywhere. The drones. So it's not a one-stop shop, folks. You're going to have more people looking at the skies now, and you're going to have more people thinking that they're looking at a drone or a UFO now. And a lot of people are looking at Venus and thinking that it's a UFO. It's been that way for hundreds of years, maybe longer. Sometimes Venus is so bright, you think it's like a flying saucer just staring at you. Hey, buddy, what's up? There's reports of people staring at what they think are stars, and then they realize when the star starts to move in a intelligent fashion that it's not a star anymore. There's a lot of claims of those types of situations. Now, the body camera footage of the guy that the police officer in New Jersey, he's got a body camera that captures allegedly 50 plus drones that shoot out of the ocean right off the coast, and then they swarm a Coast Guard vessel. And we're going to get into that article in a minute because there's multiple eyewitnesses. That doesn't sound like the 20-foot drones that are flying over Langley or the 20-foot drones observed over military installations that are about the size of a SUV. Completely different. And some of the people that are speculating, you've got these sniffers, these drones that are flying over military bases and sensitive locations with sniffers. You don't need to launch a sniffer over that location to pick up radiation from missing medical equipment. I talked to somebody, maybe I shouldn't mention this. Let's just say that for a long time, there have been detection methods from up there that can track radiation down here for at least 30 years. We'll leave it at that. Let's go back to some of these. And there could be certain situations where there are sniffers flying over, sniffer drones flying over locations looking for NBC, nuclear, biological, or chemical elements. That's absolutely a possibility. But all of the locations, probably not. Over Trump's golf course, probably not. Over Langley for 17 days, I'm not buying it. Launching out of the ocean in swarms of dozens, I'm not buying it. Now, it's interesting to note some of these swarms of drones that have been captured. I saw this footage from a Ring camera that looked like some type of special effects. And if it wasn't special effects, it was a really cool visual effect that this drone created, almost as if trying to create the illusion of it being a flying saucer or space alien controlled vessel. Through various means and methods, you can create what looks like, in most people's minds, alien spacecraft through a multitude of technologies that I'm sure you know about. But there could have been a beta test out in Phoenix. The Phoenix lights were most likely a beta test of that technology, folks, where people just swear that they saw aliens in a space. Like there was even a remote viewing session done by very cool and powerful remote viewers like Daz Smith, Dick Allgaier. They did a remote viewing on the Phoenix Lights craft. And the cool thing, okay, so if you can do like double blind remote viewing sessions, that's what a legit remote viewing session is, right? Like the person has no idea what they're remote viewing. But if you have an idea what you're remote viewing before you do it, then it's not genuine remote viewing. It's not the military protocols. But they remote viewed what was inside of these Phoenix Lights. And I remember talking to Dick about it. And if I remember him correctly, he was saying that these beings were like morphing from like almost like lion type looking beings to humanoid looking beings or something. And he said that they were morphing in and out and in and out. And I was like, well, that's really weird. But if it was a freaking hologram, that would make sense. If it was a holographic technology that was being used, and inside of it was also these holograms that were like morphing in shape and size to look like they're actually the pilots of the craft, but they're not. It's all a giant hologram. That makes even more sense to me. So it wouldn't be extremely difficult, in my opinion, to create a narrative where people thought there was an alien invasion when there actually wasn't. And I'll tell you what, this has been talked about for years. Like, what would we do if there was an off-world threat as a nation? Would we collaborate with other nations and would this create unity amongst the people? What did Reagan say back in the 80s in that famous speech? Some people have speculated that he was referring to Planet X. Some people have speculated he was referring to space aliens. Some people have speculated like other possibilities. Clearly that was vague, so we can't confirm or deny any of those with absolute fact yet. Unless you know something that I don't, and I'd be more than happy to take a look at that. But I don't think they're creating a fake alien invasion now, folks. That's not what's going on with all of this media coverage about these mysterious drones. When you have drone swarms that are following military craft or National Guard, when you have drone swarms that are shutting down airspace, I'm going to, we've got a checklist of what it possibly is and what it possibly isn't. Well, let's go to the checklist of what it most likely isn't. Most likely not billionaires flying around in jets and cars. Check that off the list. It's most likely not bomb sniffers or nuclear sniffers or NBC sniffers. Let's check that off the list. It's most likely not Amazon delivery drones with Amazon Prime. We'll check that off the list. It's most likely not hobbyist drones. Check that off the list. Could it be Santa Claus creating a list for who's been naughty and who's been nice? We'll keep that on the potential possibility list, depending on who Santa Claus is, and But is there a possibility that there is a new technology being implemented and tested that is swarming, like without doing anything that would create, like no weapons, just swarms? Like, let's see how much we can interact and how much we can get involved and pester and swarm these locations without actually touching anything, without actually hurting anything. We'll see how far we can push these drones into these airspaces and avoid capture. We'll take all that data and we'll boogie. If you're wanting to collect data such as military personnel, electronic data, where strategic munitions and aircraft are located, if you wanted to get all of that data without using satellites and other sources, if you were going to use drones to collect that data, you're going to do it as clandestinely as possible. Many of these drone sightings, especially recently, have lights on the back that follow FAA guidelines. So think about that. I doubt space aliens showed up with drones that look like ours that use the same lights that are required with aerial vehicles. Not buying it. Check that off the list. However, clearly that's going on right now, and clearly more of that's going on now than before. And then people are seeing activity that just goes on anyway. And then the news loves that. The news loves to pick up somebody that films something and it's like, dude, I could tell it's not an airplane. It's totally one of those mysterious drones. And it's a freaking airplane. And you can look, it's got the same lights, the same outline of a freaking airplane. Like, I can tell. And so the news takes that and they upload that, and then 1 million people watch it. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. And then that gets 10 million views. And then the White House comes out and says, oh, well, the video footage that we're looking at is an airplane and it's not doing anything illegal. And that's true, because that's what we're looking at. And many of these videos that are out there are of videos of aircraft or standard protocol. Now, I have noticed many videos recently, though, that do show what appears to be orbs flying in. It's like light orbs. It's not like the metallic orb that Kristen and I saw a few years ago. I mean, it might be, but what I'm looking at isn't the same because it's at nighttime and all you see is the light. What Chris and I saw during the day was silver, metallic, and it was shiny and it was reflective and it was physical. 3D, man, right there. These things seem to have like like lights on them. They could absolutely 100% be man-made drones made to look like UAPs because you put a specific light on it. It's at nighttime, and unless you've got night vision or really good camera equipment, tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment at nighttime with the right lensing and etc., you're not going to get a very good image of them. And the images that are going around now that are allegedly high definition of like, super, dude, it's high definition, bro. Look at this, man. This is so detailed. Look at how cool this is. It is it looks like a pixelated ball of yarn that a cat's been playing with. It does not look clear at all. It looks like you went out and took a picture of a planet or of a star at nighttime, and all you see is this weird light anomaly. And people are they're eating that up, man. Whatever. When you spend a little time researching it and you go out and go out, take your camera, zoom in on a star, and you'll realize that you don't have the technology to capture what that star really looks like. What you're capturing is this weird pixelated, looks like a firework almost, or like a Tesla coil, because it's so far away. Now, if you're looking at it with a telescope that's like some of these new cutting edge multi-billion-dollar telescopes, you might be able to look at it and it would look like our sun does. It would look like our star does. I mean, you can get a solar filter, put that on a nice camera or a nice telescope. Make sure you've got the right type of solar filter, though, obviously, so you don't hurt your eyes. And you can clearly see the sun in its glory, and it's, right there. But I'm just bringing this up because it's ridiculous to me when I see these videos and these photos that are getting so much traction in the media, and it's ridiculous. So anyway, that was a long rant. And it could be a flying cat. It could be a flying cat. I'm still thinking Santa Claus is behind all this, but we'll get to that at a later time. So we've got the Falcon Peak 2025 experiment conducted late October. I went over that with you. Let's go over the Red Sands Counter UAS exercise held earlier in 2024 at the Red Sands Integrated Experimentation Center in Saudi Arabia. This exercise involved U.S. forces and Saudi counterparts. The drills featured advanced systems, including robot dogs, the AH-64 Apache helicopters firing Hellfire missiles to neutralize drones and unmanned ground vehicles. Dude, that sounds exciting. The exercise aimed to enhance counter-UAS capabilities in regions with high UAS activity. And that's the aviationist. Project Convergence, part of the AUKUS partnership, the US, UK, and Australia conducted a significant exercise at Fort Irwin, California, involving autonomous drones equipped with artificial intelligence. Oh, buddy, what could possibly go wrong? These drones collaborated to scan and identify enemy targets on the battlefield, demonstrating interoperability and rapid response capabilities, and that's the times. Now, here's a scary thought that somebody asked in the comment section the other day. They were like, I wonder if it's possible if certain drones could be hacked. That's a scary thought. Thor, tactical high-power operational responder demonstrations developed by the Air Force Research Laboratory. Thor is a high-power microwave-directed energy weapon designed to counter swarms of drones. In April 2023, Thor successfully engaged multiple targets in a simulated swarm attack at Kirkland Air Force Base. While primarily an Air Force initiative, such technologies are relevant to Space Force operations concerning the protection of space-related ground assets. Wikipedia. These exercises and developments related to the U.S. military's commitment to advancing counter-drone capabilities, ensuring preparedness against evolving unmanned aerial threats. Wired Magazine, The Times, Business Insider. So Camp Pendleton, listen to this. In recent weeks, multiple reports of unidentified drones operating near Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton in Southern California. Residents in nearby areas such as Temecula have observed large drones, some described as being the size of a small vehicle or car, flying over their communities. These sightings have raised concerns among local populations. Fox 11, Los Angeles. Camp Pendleton officials have acknowledged awareness of these drone activities, but have clarified that the drones are not associated with the base and have not impacted its training or operations. The base has stated, "We are aware of the drones that are flying over Temecula. They are not associated and do not impact Camp Pendleton's training and operations." Fox 11, Los Angeles. Oh, okay. So don't worry about it. Nothing to see here, folks. Just go back and say it. All right. Wait, that's football. The origins and operators of these drones remain unidentified. Speculation has included possibilities such as utility companies conducting infrastructure inspections. However, companies like Southern California Edison have stated they do not operate drones at night. And that is KESQ. The Federal Aviation Administration has issued guidelines reminding drone operators do not fly 20-foot drones over military sites. There's regulations against that, including the requirement for drones over a certain weight to be registered and or nighttime operations to have appropriate lighting and certification. Unauthorized drone flights over military bases are prohibited due to security concerns. Really? You don't say. Oh, yeah, that's right. Authorities continue to investigate these sightings to determine the drone's origins and ensure they do not pose a threat to public safety or national security. Residents are encouraged to report any suspicious drone activity to local law enforcement or the FAA. So we've got Yahoo News, Fox 11, Times of San Diego. This is bizarre, and I had mentioned this yesterday, but I don't know if you watched the podcast we did yesterday. So recent reports from New Jersey have described mysterious drone sightings near President-elect Donald Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. No, it's golf course, actually. Yeah. It was right next to his golf club. It just, this is how you hit the ball. This is the best. Okay, so get your hips in it. You want to get that? All right, we're out of here. We're space aliens. That's how we roll. Anyway, there has been drones flying over the golf course out there, and some residents claim these drones have caused anomalies. Yeah, like clocks changing time. Hello. That's pretty cool. Now, there's no concrete evidence. They change the time to 4:20, and then it goes back after they leave. It's weird. Every place they've gone, they've flown over, the clock goes to 4:20, and then they like, and then as soon as the UAP or the drone flies off, the clock goes back. I don't understand. I don't get it. But, oh, wait, there was one that was 4:19. It came up at 4:19, and the aliens were like, "Do you have a minute?" And then they flew off. They were in the wrong state. They were like, "Oh, we must go to Colorado for that." I don't know. Maybe it's in Pennsylvania too. But at the golf course, right before they got to get in that Zen state, right? They're like, "Okay, this is intergalactic. We grew this in our spaceship. Try this stuff." In the realm of UFO encounters, there have been reports of time anomalies, including clock displaying incorrect times. Okay, I got to be serious for a minute. Go back to normal. Hold on, stand by. I must drink coffee. This is intergalactic organic. This is from the 25th dimension. It's amazing. Even the machine elves trip on this stuff. It's incredible. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, UFOs. All right. I got to read this. So not only have there been recent reports of clocks changing time. Okay, I'm joking about the 4:20 time. I don't know what time it is that it changes to, but there have been reports of the clocks changing time. So these clocks change time. They act all like the electronic interference is definitely there. So are these EMP pulses? Is this based upon the propulsion of the drones themselves that are causing interference with the clock, or are they actually interfering with the clock on purpose to create more confusion? And like, look what we can do. We can fly over your car while you're driving on the freeway, change your clock, and then take off. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because that's how we roll. Are we space aliens? You'll never know. We could say we're from anywhere. We could say we're from Zeta Reticuli, and you'd believe us. We could say we're from planet Zotar land, and you'd believe us. Because you can't confirm or deny it, because you haven't been to those places. So we could say we're from wherever. So in the realm of UFO encounters, there have been reports of time anomalies, including clocks displaying incorrect times, individuals experiencing time loss, One of the most notable cases is Barney and Betty Hill in 1961, where the couple reported a period of missing time during an alleged UFO encounter. Under hypnosis, they recounted being taken aboard an extraterrestrial spacecraft. And they talked to, like, one of these beings allegedly looked like a giant mantis dude. And I think it was Betty that asked one of the occupants, somebody on the ship, like, where do you come from? And they pointed to a star in Zeta Reticuli or something. And allegedly, we didn't know about that before this event took place. So that convinces most people that if this event was true, when asked where they came from, they believe it's Zeta Reticuli. But what a great, let's say that event really did happen the way that it's described, and they were space aliens that came to Earth and decided, oh, that looks like a fun couple to pick up. Let's get them. Let's mess with those guys for a little bit. I'm wondering if it is legit, if that did take place, do they really come from Zeta Reticuli? Would they tell us where they really come from, is my point. I don't think they will. I don't think they would. Because if we know where they come from, I mean, that takes away a huge, I'm just not buying it, but maybe. It's important to note, while these accounts are intriguing, they often lack empirical evidence and are based on personal testimony. Scientific investigations into such phenomena have not provided conclusive explanations for these time-related anomalies. Now, if you have experienced similar incidents, it's advisable to document the occurrences meticulously and report them to local authorities or relevant investigative organizations for further examination. What do you do? Like when you, sir, hi, I know you're busy right now, but I just got to tell you what happened. This is dispatch. What happened, sir? Well, I think last night I was abducted by space aliens, and what they did to me was wild. And I don't know, who do I report that to? Well, I doubt people are going to do that. I'm just saying. But thanks for the advice. Yeah, probably not. Pentagon UFO expert says secret group has non-human material. And that's the Times. News.com.au. Black object. Pentagon's wild UFO revelation. And the New York Post. Airplane pilots record multiple UFOs dancing in the sky. It wasn't on our radar. Okay. So then I know, right? I'm reading one of the comments in here. It is I says, we would get dragged to an institution before that. And hey, no worries. Yeah. The Coneheads are cool. I think the Coneheads are awesome. And you know what? I personally, anyway, that's a whole other podcast. We'll talk about that later. So let's look at some of the past reports over the past 70 years of nuclear facilities that have had these UAP sightings where personnel claim that UFOs fly over the sites, shut off the silos, and take off. And there's actually been reports of them flying over the silos and turning on, like activating these nuclear weapons and then flying off. And then other people had to turn them off. So they're not always the good guys, folks. Or are they? I don't know. Over the past 70 years, Los Alamos National Laboratory, New Mexico, from the 40s and 50s, during the late 40s and the 50s, Los Alamo, a key site for nuclear research, experienced multiple UFO sightings. Witnesses reported unexplained aerial objects near the facility, raising security concerns. History. Savannah River Site, South Carolina, 1950s. The Savannah River Site, involved in nuclear materials production, was the location of several UFO sightings. Personnel reported unidentified craft in the vicinity, though official explanations were not provided. Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, 1967, March 24th. At Malmstrom Air Force Base, UAPs were reported near nuclear missile silos. Witnesses claimed that 10 Minuteman ICBMs became inoperative during the sighting, an event that is still unexplained. CBS News, ex-Air Force personnel. UFOs deactivated nukes. That's pretty cool and kind of scary. Rendlesham Forest incident, Suffolk, England, 1980. In December 1980, U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at RAF Bentwaters near nuclear storage facilities reported encountering a UAP in Rendlesham Forest. The incident remains one of UK's most famous UFO cases. That's history. Chernobyl, I don't know if you knew about this. Chernobyl, the power plant, the nuclear plant there, Following the disaster in Chernobyl, April 1986, some reports emerged of UAP sightings near the plant. However, these accounts are anecdotal and lack official documentation. It was just swamp gas reflecting from the trigonometry that we calculated, and it doesn't work that way. The Indian Point nuclear power plant, I love that. Well, sir, we did the trigonometry on these vehicles that you say are flying thousands of miles an hour, appearing to be further away. Based upon our calculations, they are flying slower and closer. Next question. Indian Point nuclear plant, New York, 1984. Security personnel at Indian Point reported a large, unidentified object hovering over the facility. The object was described as having bright lights, remained stationary for an extended period before departing. Wikipedia. The 1984 Hudson Valley UFO sightings. 1984 was one heck of a year. The FE Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming, 2010. October 2010, FE Warren Air Force Base, responsible for nuclear missile operations, experienced a communication disruption with multiple missiles. Some sources suggest UAP activity during this period, though official reports attribute the issue to equipment malfunction. Malfunction. Need organic caffeine coffee to drink. We will assimilate you. So there is a recurring pattern of UAP sightings near nuclear facilities, and obviously that is raising a lot of questions. New York Post. Missing radioactive material in New Jersey sparks drone theories. They're looking for something, mayor says. And then news.com.au, the most terrifying theory about mystery drones. And I think in that article, they question, are certain drones flying over particular areas in search for a missing nuke from Russia? I mean, how many years have they been using that story? Remember the story of the suitcase nukes, allegedly? So, I don't know. But, listen to this. Recent drone sightings over New Jersey have sparked various theories, including one suggesting these drones are searching for missing radioactive material. Bellevue Mayor Michael Milham observed drones flying in grid patterns over his township, leading to speculation they might be attempting to detect lost radioactive substances. That doesn't sound like the 50 drones that shot out of the ocean. That doesn't sound like some of these drones that avoid capture and are these? That's why we need to see we need to see the body cam footage. We need to see all footage in comparison and say, okay, this was the timestamp. It was recorded with this kind of camera. These are the conditions. And save if you're going to use trigonometry, share with us the basic math as well, okay? Because most people, unless, I guess I'll have to get my sons to do it because he's like going to college for super math kind of stuff. So he would know. I guess I could ask him, hey man, can you show me the trigonometry on this and tell me if, because most people, I'm just saying, like Genotrig, I guess I could learn it, but I've got other things to do, like share all this cool information about the UAPs with you. Where was I? The theory gained traction after the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission reported the loss of medical equipment containing germanium-68, a radioactive chemical used in PET scanners, which went missing during transit. The New York Post. John Ferguson of Saxon Aerospace speculated the drones might be attempting to detect radioactive material, garnering reactions from high-profile individuals and creating public concern. Despite reassurances from the United States authorities that the drones pose no security threat, without clear information, theories continue to proliferate, causing panic and demands for action from local and state officials. News.com.au. However, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has stated that the drones are not tracking missing radioactive material. The DEP clarified that the missing material is a low-threat radioactive chemical used in medical equipment and that there is no connection between the drone sightings and the lost material. I would have to say I believe that, and that's ABC 7. It's important to note that while, I mean, it doesn't really matter what I believe and what I don't believe. I'm just sharing the information with you. And now you can say, okay, yeah, 50 drones shoot out of the ocean. Body cam picks it up. They don't tell us what they look like, but they swarm the Coast Guard. And then we have high level officials that claim to see 20 footers over military sites. And then we go back 70 years and we've got reports of UFOs turning off nuclear silos. Like, how much data do you need? Is that swamp gas and weather anomalies too that's shutting off the missile silos? It's like there's this swamp gas, right? And based upon the trigonometry, the swamp gas hooked up with the Venus reflection, and that turned off our super secret, our super powerful, security system here to shut off the nuclear silo. So we need to figure out how to calculate the calibration just a little bit differently. So when that reflection from Venus comes in, it's not going to hit that swamp gas as much. And then we can change that up a little bit. You just got to know the trigonometry about it, and it totally makes sense. And we'll get into that later. But man, that swamp gas, I'll tell you what, we need new rules and laws and regulations about swamp gas. Maybe we can get Congress on board for that. Yeah. It's anti-swamp gas preventative measures. That will be the new bill and the security measure, and we'll create a whole new security force for that. And we'll have them under the Space Force because it's all part of the space anomalies. Yes, I like that. And we'll get McDonald's to sponsor it. Perfect. Then we'll get Elon's brother for all the delivery of the swamp gas. We'll have them deliver the swamp gas specific locations. So that way they deliver the swamp gas to that location. It reflects off of Venus and it turns off the missile silo. So that way we can get more swamp gas moving drones. Brilliant. In the near future, you will all be hooked up to drones that deliver swamp gas for your pleasure. Hooked up to your own personal Neuralink that then connects to the Starlink. You're going to love it. It's amazing. You can start your car just by blinking twice. My car's started. I don't even have to warm it up now. You know what else is cool? I can take a phone call and I can turn on my Tesla at the same time. I just have to blink both my eyes. It's amazing. Oh my. Now, if I really want to get going, what I'll do is I'll wiggle my ears and I'll blink at the same time, and I can do the dishes, I can do my laundry, I can activate my Optimus Prime robot, and I can drive my Tesla, and I can take notes, and I can do my work because I got Grok doing my work for me, and it's all connected to this drone that delivers swamp gas. And then I'm going to Mars. I'm going to Mars after that. It's going to be amazing. We are going to redo the atmosphere on Mars by swamp gas drones. It's all going to be activated through my Neuralink system. I've got it all planned out. I've figured it all out. This is going to be better for everybody. We need more people, not less people. We need more people so they get their personal Optimus Prime robot, their personal Optimus drone system, all connected to the swamp gas. And then we won't worry anymore about the space aliens because we got the swamp gas to protect us. It's always with us. It's always looking over us. It's our guardian angel swamp gas drone. It loves us. I love you so much. I love people. I love people. That I want to merge you with the machine because I love you. It's for your protection. I promise. Whoa, man. What just happened? That was amazing. I just had a vision. A vision of incredible opportunities. That'd be pretty wild, right? Like everywhere you go, you've got an Optimus Prime robot and an Eagle drone. You've got your own personal Eagle drone, Optimus Prime robot, Tesla car. I could do everything by blinking. Oh, I love it. So much fun. I gotta stop. All right. I apologize. I don't know what they put in this coffee, but like, I thought it was just coffee, and anyway, that's some sweet coffee. Archer Aviation. Is anybody still watching the podcast, or did everybody leave? Hold on. Let me see. Don't hurt my ego, man. I want to be cool. I don't know. How many people are in the chat? How many people we got chilling out in the chat? All right. It's a beautiful day today. The sun's coming out. It's December. It's almost 50 degrees in southern Colorado. My friend's in town. We're going to go ride up a mountain. All right. All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, cool. All right. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We were talking about the new swamp gas deliver drone systems that are going to be connected to a carbon credit system also. So you can actually, but we'll talk about that in the future. Archer Defense Division. Archer has established a new division, Archer Defense. I'm talking about these VTOL technologies, vertical takeoff and landing drone technologies, super high cutting edge technologies that are being created right now. Yeah, we've got Archer Aviation and Anduril Industries have recently announced a strategic partnership to develop a next generation hybrid propulsion vertical takeoff and landing aircraft tailored for defense applications. This collaboration aims to secure a potential program of record with the U.S. Department of Defense. So we've got the Archer Defense They're spearheading this initiative, leveraging their expertise and rapidly developing advanced VTOL aircraft, which use existing commercial parts and supply chains, and that's Archer News. And then you've got the Anduril with deep expertise in artificial intelligence, missionization, and systems integration, aiming to accelerate the development of VTOL capabilities at a fraction of the cost compared to traditional alternatives. Now imagine you could map somebody's brain, and then you could take their brain and upload it into the cloud, and then you could turn it into data so that the artificial intelligence could use that brain. So like you could actually upload your brain to your own personal drone. Oh, I got to stop. I'm way out there right now. So we've got $430 million worth of funding that is going to support this venture and other corporate purposes. And it's going to be interesting. We've got Stellantis, United Airlines, as well as institutional investors, including Wellington Management and Abu Dhabi's 2.0. This partnership reflects a growing trend of integrating cutting-edge commercial technologies into defense applications, potentially transforming military logistics, reconnaissance, and rapid deployment strategies. So the VTOL, as I was telling you a moment ago, vertical takeoff and landing and drone and aircraft technology, and that is giving the ability for that vehicle to lift off, hover, and land vertically without requiring a runway. That would change things up a bit. We've got some hybrid designs, military applications, commercial applications, emergency services. And so let's see what we've got that is actually using this technology. An MQ-8 Fire Scout, autonomous helicopter used by the U.S. Navy, a VBAT drone, compact VTOL drone for reconnaissance and surveillance. And then we've got civilian VTOL drones. The Wingcopter 198, it's a delivery drone capable of vertical takeoff, fixed wing flight, and the Javi Aviation eVTOL, designed for passenger transport in urban areas. It's pretty cool. Over 5,000 reports of drone sightings across the northeastern United States, particularly in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and surrounding areas. These reports have raised public concern and prompted investigations by federal agencies, including the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and Federal Aviation Administration. Now, fewer than 100 of these 5,000 have warranted further investigation. Well, there's still about 100 there, so authorities have determined that many sightings involve manned aircraft mistaken for drones. Yes, that's true. As well as legally operated commercial, hobbyist, and law enforcement drones. Yep, that's true. Then it goes on to say no evidence has been found linking these sightings to foreign adversaries or posing a national security threat. Oh, I feel so much better now. Santa Claus. I wonder what yeah, we went over that. New York Post, FBI urges drone hunters to stop pointing lasers in the sky as plane pilots are getting hit in eyes. That's a really bad idea. As I was saying yesterday, even if I know a lot of people that like to go to these CE5 protocols where they're like, we're going to call the aliens, man. We're going to hold hands. We're going to focus our thoughts, and we're going to call the aliens down. Yes. Oh, I'm calling the aliens right now. They're getting closer. Oh, I can feel them. They're talking to me. They might show up, but they might have other plans. They might have to stop at Trump's golf course. I'm doing my best, but they said that they might have. Yes, yes, they're stopping at the golf course first. They'll be here later. Yeah. And then they've got the green lasers out there. They're like, we got green lasers. We're ready. We're calling them down and we're going to communicate with our mind and green lasers. And we're going to talk to them. We're going to be like, you can read my mind, right? Can you? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Look, I flashed a laser and it flashed it back. Do not flash lasers in the sky. It's a bad idea. I'm just saying. Or do whatever. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I'm just saying I would not do it, but you know. What do we got here? Despite numerous reports and public unease, the Department of Defense has maintained that these drones do not pose a national security risk, but has remained reticent about their origin. This lack of transparency has led to various theories, including suspicions on foreign surveillance, particularly from adversaries like China, for instance. Congressman Michael McCall has claimed that the mysterious drone swarms could be spy bots from China, though concrete evidence supporting this assertion is lacking. The Sun. Yeah, I really doubt, spy drones are going to have their lights on. Look at me, I'm spying on you. I'm not buying it. The situation has been further complicated by political figures expressing frustration over the perceived lack of information. President-elect Donald Trump has accused the Biden administration and the Pentagon of concealing information regarding these drone activities, suggesting that the government is aware of their origins but chooses not to disclose them. That's the New York Post. In response to these concerns, the Pentagon has addressed some of the more speculative theories. For example, it has denied claims that Iran has a mothership operating off the coast, launching drones over the U.S. East Coast, stating there is no evidence to support such assertions. The Times. I thought that was a pretty silly excuse when I first read it. I was like, oh man, that guy's trying to get in the news. We know what it is. It's a mothership. Oh yeah. They're right there. They're not worried about it. They wanted to let us know they were there. They were dropping pamphlets. The lack of clear information and the proliferation of theories has led to public anxiety and calls for greater transparency from the government. As investigations continue, it remains to be seen whether the true nature of these drone activities will be disclosed and whether the Pentagon's is due to security concerns, operational security, or other factors. How do I say that word? Oh my gosh. It's terrible. New York Post, The Sun, New York Post. This is interesting. I'm sure China isn't too happy about this. Taiwan has received the first batch of 38 M1A2T Abrams main battle tanks from the United States, making a significant enhancement to its armored capabilities. So, the agreement was in 2019. Taiwan procured 108 Abram tanks from the U.S. to modernize its aging armored fleet, which includes M60A3s and CM11 Brave Tiger tanks. The delivery schedule is over 3 years. Looks like 38 will be delivered this year, 42 in 2025, and then another 28 in 2026. And you can read about that. Kuna. It's like there's an Army training base in Hsinchu, south of Taipei. Yeah, this is my favorite article so far. One of them. I like the clocks changing time. That's pretty cool too. But in early December of 2024, a New Jersey police officer reported witnessing approximately 50 drones emerging from the ocean near Island Beach State Park. The sighting was part of a series of mysterious drone activities observed along the New Jersey coastline. The officer's account was corroborated by U.S. Coast Guard officials who reported that a 47-foot lifeboat was followed by 12 to 30 drones lacking typical heat signatures. What? New York Post. Okay. Do you think that those are NBC sniffers? Do you think that those are hobby drones? You think that those are ours? No. No way. Now, could there be like a super secret project out there with a defense contractor possibly that is beta testing our own military? That's possible. But it could also be something we don't know what they are. Now, I would suggest these swarms of UAPs that don't have a heat signature, they are some type of artificial general intelligence. Now, whether they're reverse engineered from some type of crashed craft, whether or not it's alien or ancient human technology. I mean, folks, there's plenty of evidence that there was highly advanced technology thousands of years ago, like beyond what we see now. I don't know how they moved 70 to 100 tons, 70 to 100 ton granite boxes with perfect lines, precision, underground in Egypt thousands of years ago. 70 to 100 tons. Okay, so what is 2,000 times 100? 200,000? No, we're talking 2 million pounds. 2 million pounds. 24 of these things are underground in Egypt, and they're in these tunnels that you can barely fit these things in. And the way that these tunnels move, I don't know how they were able to move these boxes into these locations. That much weight. Where did they get the granite to mine these things? How many hundreds of miles away were those? I do not see slaves pulling these things with wooden wheels and rope, or like a boat. Yes, it's a boat that, and then when we get to land, we're like, huh! And the pharaoh's like whipping them harder, huh! Dude, it's 2 million pounds. Like, I'm not buying it. And then there's the sacred bowl story. I think of sacred bowl something else, where they were these boxes that are 2 million pounds were placed in these locations for burials of sacred cows, sacred bulls, because it's the age of Taurus, the age of the bull. Well, that came far later. Was that done? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that was done thousands of years after the fact. But what were these things originally used for? Why were they originally placed where they were? And how did they get there? That is plenty of evidence of highly advanced technology that we can't duplicate today from thousands of years ago. Now, the sacred bull and the age of Taurus, I think that goes back about 8,000 years approximately, 6,000 to 8,000 years. So when you follow the zodiac, and most civilizations kind of revolve around the zodiac and these certain ages. Like now we're in the age of Pisces and we're on the cusp of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is the age of air, the age of technology, the age of man, human, and woman, the age of freedom and like it could also be the opposite with these things. These technologies could be used to suppress freedom. And when you think of the age of Aquarius, the age of air, look at all of these drone sightings and UAPs and the future of drones and the future of aerial travel. It's like a cycle that has, not only fascinating implications with technologies, but also the human psyche and the spirit and everything that connects. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. We're in amazing times, folks. I mean, the potential just within the next 5 years to reach singularity is, we reach singularity in the next 5 years. Ray Kurzweil is talking about technologies that can literally reverse aging. Now, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm optimistic. So with that in mind, let's go back to this article right here. And a New Jersey police officer reported witnessing approximately 50 drones emerging from the ocean near Island Beach State Park. The sighting was part of a series of mysterious drone activities observed along the New Jersey coastline. The officer's account was corroborated by U.S. Coast Guard officials who reported that a 47-foot lifeboat was followed by 12 to 30 drones lacking typical heat signatures. New York Post. In response to the incidents, the Ocean County Sheriff's Office deployed an industrial-grade drone to track the unidentified aerial vehicles. However, the mysterious drones evaded capture, maneuvering swiftly away from the pursuing drone. New York Post. Now, despite extensive investigations by local law enforcement, the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, the origins and operators of these drones remain unknown. Authorities have stated there is no evidence suggesting the drones pose a security threat or originate from foreign sources. The Times. Well, then you could say if there's no threat, no security threat, and they're not from foreign sources, are you saying by not saying? Are you saying that they're ours by not saying? I don't know. How do I repeat? Are you, it's like a way, okay, well, it's not foreign. It's not a threat, but it's there. We're not going to show you the video cam, though. We're not going to show you the video footage. I'm surprised there hasn't been more outcry to see this footage. Now, there was recently a classified meeting about these UAPs and these drones. Maybe they showed that footage in the classified meeting. And if they are showing these things, if they are showing this footage to classified as a classified document or as classified data, what does that mean? Like, why? Why can't we see them? Remember the footage that showed that drone, or I'm sorry, now I'm doing it. Now I'm calling UFOs and UAPs drones. See how they do this? They're good. They're good. Now we're going to start calling UFOs drones and drones UFOs. And it's just another way to slice up the mystery and slice up the truth. Because now wow, verbiage, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is fascinating. Programming the mind using certain condition tactics. Y'all got to go listen to my interview with Dr. Kevin Hogan. I mean, Kevin Hogan is probably the best, or one of the best, no question, psychologists on the planet. Like the way that he can read people's minds without actually reading minds, and the way that he can understand people and communicate with people. I'm glad he's not Darth Vader. Let's just put it that way. I'm glad he's on the side of like, use the Force, Luke, and not on the dark side. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And we just did a video on MK techniques that were used in the 50s and 60s and how that actually started, and how it started with like prisoners in Asia and I think like Korea as well. And they would be subject to reward or torture based upon the answer that they gave. And they would be asked questions that, like not absolutes. Like, would you say that there are still good people in this specific location? Even though, like a prisoner of war, as an example, let's say you get captured as a prisoner of war, and then you're in a prison cell, and your capturers are asking you questions about their people and saying, well, would you say that there's still good people on in this side? And if you say no, then you get tortured. But if you say yes, you get to eat. And, just very slowly spoon feeding you this information to where you get to a point where it's like absolute, but it starts minute and then it turns into absolute. It's conditioning. And that can be used with dopamine rushes by hitting likes or looking in social media. So it's an evolution of mind control through memes. So powerful. The meme news is more powerful than the mainstream news oftentimes. Let's call them the memes. They're memes. And they're very calculated and precise now. And you don't need, in today's battlefield, you do not need to necessarily have troops on the opposing line, because you can send these memes out to get into people's heads, and you wouldn't. Oh, it's just a meme. Oh, yeah. But then, like, the meme has free rent in your head. And then you're connecting other dots with the meme, and you're like, but what about what I just saw? That makes so much sense. Be careful, folks. I'm just saying. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because with the news and the media and the certain keywords, they're very good at calculating what you're going to do and how you're going to respond and what people are going to think in the very near future through conditioning. So anyway, on that note, just thought I'd mention that to you. Thought it was pretty interesting. And thank you for watching the video. Definitely want to check us out over at the Patreon page. Check us out on Patreon. Kevin charges like $2,000, $3,000 to work with him and learn like some of his techniques and stuff like that. And we've done so many videos that you go back and listen to our videos, and these are like, if he was to tell, like, to do a class on that, that's what he charges. Or you can just go listen to him on Patreon. You can be a Patreon for like $5. So just saying. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Hit that bell, be well, and be the change you want to see. I'm going to go hang out with some drones. I've got a podcast coming up in 45 minutes with Reverend Rob, the Tarot with an Attitude. He's going to do live tarot readings, so you want to jump on over for that. That should be a lot of fun. I will leave a link on the YouTube posts, like in the YouTube post, and then I'll leave a link on Facebook as well, so you guys can join us for that and get a free tarot reading if you want. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks Nishoba, and hope you all have a beautiful day. Be the change you want to see.